Disabled child is mocked at a mall. Keanu Reeves steps in and leaves everyone speechless. Where are you watching this video from? Please comment and let us know. Also, don't forget to like the video and help us reach 1,000 subscribers. The mall was alive with energy on a bustling Saturday afternoon. Bright lights gleamed off polished tiles as families strolled from store to store, their laughter blending with the distant hum of music from the overhead speakers. Near the center of the mall, Timmy rolled forward in his wheelchair, his small hands expertly guiding the wheels. His mother, a gentle woman with soft brown eyes and a warm smile, walked beside him, matching his pace. "Mom, look!" Timmy's voice was filled with wonder as he pointed toward a large toy store just ahead. The storefront sparkled with colorful displays of action figures, remote control cars, and towering shelves stacked with games. His mother smiled warmly. "I see it, sweetheart. Want to go check it out?" Timmy's face lit up with excitement. "Yes, please." As they entered the store, Timmy's eyes darted from one dazzling toy display to the next. Soaking in the vibrant scene, he wheeled himself over to a shelf, filled with action figures of superheroes, clad in capes and armor. One figure in particular caught his attention, a sleek, masked hero with a powerful stance and metallic red suit. "Whoa!" Timmy whispered in awe. His fingers hovered over the plastic packaging, as if the figure itself held some kind of magic. His mother watched him with a fond smile. "That one looks pretty cool, huh?" Timmy nodded enthusiastically. "He looks like a real hero." The moment was simple but precious. Young boy captivated by a toy. That sparked his imagination. Unbeknownst to them, not far from where Timmy admired his superhero, a group of teenagers loitered by another display, their eyes settling on the boy in the wheelchair. Smirks curled at the corners of their mouths as they exchanged glances. The joyful afternoon was about to take a cruel turn. Timmy's fingers traced the edge of the toy's package, as he imagined epic battles between heroes and villains. His mother stood nearby, quietly observing her son's joy. A few feet away, two teenagers leaned against a display rack piled high with board games. One wore a faded hoodie with the hood pulled up, while the other sported a baseball cap tilted backward. They weren't interested in toys, just trouble. "Dude, check it out," Hoodie whispered, nodding toward Timmy. "Fast wheels over there, look ready for a race." Baseball cap snorted. "Yeah, bet he's got VIP parking everywhere he goes." Their laughter was sharp and cutting, breaking through the cheerful hum of the store. Timmy's head dipped slightly, but he tried to stay focused on the toy in front of him. His mother's expression tensed as she caught the cruel remarks. "The boys weren't done. Think he's got turbo mode on that thing," Hoodie said loudly, drawing the attention of a few nearby shoppers. "Careful, man, he might run you over," Baseball cap added, grinning. A few customers glanced at the scene but quickly looked away, pretending not to hear. Most just continued shopping, unwilling to intervene. Timmy's small hands clenched tightly on the armrests of his wheelchair. His face, moments ago filled with wonder, now bore a flicker of sadness. His mother knelt beside him, whispering softly, "Don't listen to them, sweetheart. They don't know what they're talking about." "I just want to go," Timmy murmured, his voice trembling. The joy he had felt only moments ago was slipping away, replaced by embarrassment and hurt. As the teenagers chuckled and moved closer, clearly enjoying their taunts, a calm yet firm voice suddenly broke through the store's chatter. "Is this what you guys do for fun?" All eyes turned toward the speaker, a tall man in a black jacket and worn jeans, with unmistakable dark eyes that held quiet authority. Keanu Reeves had stepped into the toy store, unnoticed until now, and his presence was about to change everything. The store fell into an uneasy silence as Keanu Reeves stepped forward, His casual black jacket draped effortlessly over his broad shoulders. His face, usually calm and thoughtful, carried a stern expression now. The bullies froze, their laughter dying awkwardly in their throats. They glanced at each other, as if uncertain whether to stand their ground or walk away. Keanu moved with quiet purpose, his steps slow but deliberate. He positioned himself directly between Timmy and the teenagers, creating a protective barrier with his presence. "You guys having fun?" Keanu asked, his voice low but firm. The two boys exchanged nervous looks, suddenly unsure of themselves. Hoodie stuffed his hands into his pockets, trying to appear nonchalant. We were just joking around," Hoodie muttered. "No big deal." Keanu's eyes narrowed slightly. "Jokes are supposed to make people laugh, not hurt them," he said pointedly. His calm demeanor only made his words more powerful. Baseball Cap cleared his throat, attempting to salvage some shred of bravado. "We didn't mean anything by it." Keanu took a small step forward, his presence radiating an unspoken authority. "Let me ask you something," he said quietly. "Ever been in a situation where someone made you feel small? Like you didn't belong?" Neither boy responded, but their silence was answer enough. "Yeah," Keanu continued. "Doesn't feel great, does it?" Hoodie shifted uncomfortably. "We were just messing around," he repeated weakly. "Well, you messed with the wrong person today," Keanu said firmly, glancing back at Timmy, who was watching the scene with wide, astonished eyes. "You don't need to pick on people to prove how tough you are," Keanu added. "Real strength? That's being kind when it's easier not to be." The boys muttered an awkward apology, clearly rattled. Without another word, they shuffled out of the store, their earlier bravado completely deflated. Keanu turned back to Timmy, his expression softening. He knelt to Timmy's level, offering a warm smile. "Hey, buddy," Keanu said gently. "You okay?" Timmy nodded slowly, his voice barely above a whisper. "Yeah, thanks." Keanu's smile widened. "You know something? I've met a lot of heroes in my life, but I think you might just be the bravest one yet." Timmy's mother, tears glistening in her eyes, stepped forward. "Thank you," she said quietly. "Any time," Keanu replied simply, standing up again. He reached for the toy Timmy had been admiring earlier, placing it gently in the boy's lap. "This one's on me," he said with a wink. "Every hero needs a sidekick." As Keanu quietly left the store, blending back into the crowd, shoppers whispered in awe. Timmy's beaming face was proof that the day had taken a turn back toward joy. The once heavy air of cruelty had been lifted, replaced by kindness and inspiration. The teenagers stood frozen, their confidence crumbling under the weight of Keanu's steady gaze. The store seemed to hold its breath, every shopper pretending to browse while secretly watching the scene unfold. Keanu's voice, calm but commanding, cut through the tense silence. "You think being cruel makes you stronger?" he asked, his words precise and deliberate. "Nah, it just makes you weaker." The boys shifted uneasily, their smirks long gone. "You know what real strength is?" Keanu continued, his tone unwavering. "Kindness. Standing up for someone instead of tearing them down." The teenagers opened their mouths to respond, but nothing came out. Their bravado had evaporated, leaving only embarrassment in its place. "Anybody can make a cheap joke and walk away," Keanu said, his voice softening but no less powerful. "But it takes guts to be decent. And trust me, you'll feel a whole lot better being someone people respect, not someone they avoid." Hoodie's face turned red as he glanced nervously at Baseball Cap. "Yeah, we're sorry," Hoodie muttered, barely meeting Keanu's eyes. Baseball Cap nodded stiffly, his voice cracking. "We didn't mean it like that." "You meant it enough," Keanu said simply. But it's never too late to do better. Without waiting for more, the boys mumbled apologies again before turning and retreating toward the exit, their heads bowed in shame. Shoppers parted silently as they made their way out, their humiliation palpable. Timmy watched them go, his expression a mix of surprise and quiet triumph. "See?" Keanu said, crouching back down beside Timmy. "Sometimes people just need a little reminder of what really matters." Timmy grinned shyly. "Like being nice?" "Exactly," Keanu replied, smiling warmly. "You've already got it figured out, buddy." Around them, the once tense atmosphere shifted. Shoppers relaxed, conversations resumed, and the store returned to its usual buzz of cheerful activity. But for Timmy and his mother, the moment lingered etched forever as the day a movie star became a real-life hero. As the bullies slinked out of the store, a quiet murmur swept through the onlookers. What had begun as an uncomfortable scene of cruelty was now transformed into a moment of kindness and courage. Whispers rippled across the aisles. "Was that really Keanu Reeves? Did you see how he handled that? Amazing. Such a class act." A middle-aged woman with bright red glasses stepped forward, smiling warmly at Timmy and his mother. "Hey there, champ," she said cheerfully. "You've got a great taste in toys. I bet that action figure's going to have some awesome adventures with you." Timmy's smile wavered at first, but then grew stronger, his small hands clutching the toy Keanu had given him. "Yeah, it's a superhero," he said softly. "Well, so are you," the woman added with a wink. Another bystander, a bearded man in a denim jacket, chimed in. "You've got more guts than those punks ever will, kid." He gave Timmy's mother a respectful nod. "You're raising one brave young man." Timmy's mother blinked back tears, overwhelmed by the sudden outpouring of support. "Thank you," she managed to say, her voice thick with emotion. The energy in the store had completely shifted. What had been tense and awkward was now warm and supportive. Shoppers who had initially averted their eyes now offered kind words and friendly nods. "People can be jerks sometimes," an older woman said kindly, resting a gentle hand on Timmy's shoulder. "But there are a lot of good folks too. And you've got some serious good vibes coming your way." Timmy's grin widened, confidence returning to his young face. "Thanks," he said, his voice a little stronger now. Keanu, standing quietly nearby, watched the scene unfold with a satisfied smile. He didn't need the spotlight. Seeing Timmy's happiness return was all the reward he needed. As he began to quietly slip toward the exit, Timmy's mother called out, "Wait!" Keanu paused, turning back. "You didn't just make our day, you changed it," she said, gratitude shining in her eyes. "Thank you." Keanu nodded humbly. "You two are the real stars today," he said with a smile. "Take care." And just like that, he disappeared into the flow of weekend shoppers, leaving behind a store filled with warmth, courage, and the echoes of a moment no one would forget. As the kind words from the crowd continued to lift the mood, Keanu turned back toward Timmy. With that signature calm and warm demeanor, he knelt down once more beside the wheelchair-bound boy. "You know," Keanu said gently, "I almost forgot something important." Timmy tilted his head, curious. Reaching into a nearby display shelf, Keanu picked up the same shiny action figure Timmy had been admiring earlier. The superhero with the bold red cape and determined expression. Without hesitation, he placed it gently into Timmy's hands. "This belongs to you, buddy," Keanu said with a grin. "Every hero needs a sidekick, right?" Timmy's face lit up, eyes sparkling with disbelief. "For real?" he asked, clutching the toy as if it were the most precious thing in the world. "For real," Keanu assured him. Leaning in a little closer, Keanu added softly, "You know something, Timmy? Heroes come in all shapes and sizes. It's not about muscles or capes. It's about the heart. And you've got one of the biggest hearts I've ever seen. Never forget that. Timmy beamed, his earlier sadness completely washed away by a wave of pure joy. His mother stood nearby, wiping tears from her eyes, overwhelmed by the kindness they'd just experienced. "Thank you," Timmy whispered, his voice full of wonder. "You got this, little man," Keanu said, giving him a gentle pat on the shoulder. As Keanu rose to his feet, the crowd parted once again to let him pass. People watched in awe, some snapping photos, but most simply appreciating the quiet, generous gesture that had turned an ordinary shopping trip into an unforgettable memory. Timmy held the action figure close, feeling like the real superhero now. And as Keanu disappeared into the bustling mall, Timmy knew one thing for sure: heroes really did come in all shapes and sizes. Timmy's laughter filled the air, light and joyful, as he spun the shiny action figure in his small hands. His earlier sadness seemed like a distant memory now. The toy wasn't just a gift, it was a symbol of something far greater. Courage, kindness, and the power of believing in himself. His mother knelt beside him, her voice trembling with emotion. "Thank you," she said, looking up at Keanu with tearful eyes. "You didn't just stand up for my son, you reminded him that he's special. That means everything." Keanu offered her a humble smile. "He already knows he's special," he said gently. "Sometimes people just need a little reminder, that's all." Timmy clutched the action figure close, beaming up at Keanu. "You're my favorite hero now," he said earnestly. Keanu chuckled softly. "Right back at you, buddy." With a final nod of encouragement, Keanu stepped back, his presence as calm and unassuming as when he first arrived. As quietly as he had appeared, he began walking toward the mall's exit, blending seamlessly into the bustling weekend crowd. Shoppers watched in silent admiration as the actor vanished into anonymity, leaving behind a scene filled with warmth, inspiration, and a lingering sense of awe. Timmy's mother stood, holding her son's hand tightly. "You okay, sweetheart?" Timmy grinned wide. "Yeah, Mom, I'm more than okay." As they made their way out of the store, Timmy couldn't stop talking about his new toy and the real superhero they'd met. The memory of that moment would stay with them, forever a reminder that even in a world that can sometimes be unkind, there are still heroes willing to step in, change the narrative, and inspire hope with simple, selfless acts of goodness. Timmy's laughter filled the air, light and joyful, as he spun the shiny action figure in his small hands. His earlier sadness seemed like a distant memory now. The toy wasn't just a gift, it was a symbol of something far greater. Courage, kindness, and the power of believing in himself. His mother knelt beside him, her voice trembling with emotion. "Thank you," she said, looking up at Keanu with tearful eyes. "You didn't just stand up for my son. You reminded him that he's special. That means everything." Keanu offered her a humble smile. "He already knows he's special," he said gently. "Sometimes people just need a little reminder, that's all." Timmy clutched the action figure close, beaming up at Keanu. "You're my favorite hero now," he said earnestly. Keanu chuckled softly. "Right back at you, buddy." With a final nod of encouragement, Keanu stepped back, his presence as calm and unassuming as when he first arrived. As quietly as he had appeared, he began walking toward the mall's exit, blending seamlessly into the bustling weekend crowd. Shoppers watched in silent admiration as the actor vanished into anonymity, leaving behind a scene filled with warmth, inspiration, and a lingering sense of awe. Timmy's mother stood, holding her son's hand tightly. "You okay, sweetheart?" Timmy grinned wide. "Yeah, Mom, I'm more than okay." As they made their way out of the store, Timmy couldn't stop talking about his new toy and the real superhero they'd met. The memory of that moment would stay with them, forever a reminder that even in a world that can sometimes be unkind, there are still heroes willing to step in, change the narrative, and inspire hope with simple, selfless acts of goodness. The next morning, Timmy's mother sipped her coffee while scrolling through her phone. She paused, her breath catching as she saw a familiar scene unfold on her screener. Bystander at the mall had captured the entire encounter with Keanu Reeves. The video was now going viral, shared across social media with captions like, "Keanu Reeves stands up for disabled. Boy at mall, heartwarming." Moment sparks internet frenzy. The comments poured in. This brought tears to my eyes. Keanu being Keanu. What a legend. The world needs more moments like this. Timmy's mother wiped away a tear as she read countless messages from strangers praising Keanu's compassion and Timmy's bravery. What could have been a scarring experience had turned into something beautiful, a story of kindness, spreading far and wide, inspiring thousands. Later that day, Timmy sat with his friends at school during lunch, proudly holding his new action figure. "You guys won't believe this," he said excitedly. "I met a real-life hero yesterday." His friends gasped. "No way! Like a fireman or something?" One of them asked. "Better," Timmy grinned. It was Keanu Reeves. The table erupted in awe. "Whoa, the movie star. What was he like?" Timmy's eyes sparkled. "He's cool and everything, but that's not why he's a hero. He stood up for me when some jerks were being mean. And he said heroes come in all shapes and sizes, even ones in wheelchairs." The kids listened, wide-eyed, as Timmy recounted every detail. By the time lunch ended, his friends weren't just impressed, they were inspired by his newfound confidence and pride. At home that evening, Timmy's mother looked over at her son, who was happily reenacting superhero battles with his action figure. She thought back to the kindness of a stranger who'd stepped in when it mattered most. Keanu's words echoed in her mind. Heroes come in all shapes and sizes. That day had changed their lives forever. And not just because they'd met a famous actor, but because they'd experienced the power of compassion firsthand. And that, she knew, was the real story worth sharing.